Recite what has been revealed to you from the book of your Lord. None can change his words, nor can you find any refuge besides him. In Islam, Allah is said to be all-powerful. It was Allah who revealed the Quran to Muhammad, supposedly through the angel Gabriel. In Islam, Allah's words are eternal. They don't change, nor can they ever be changed. But did you know that these unchangeable words of Allah also include the Torah and the Gospel? He has revealed to you, O Prophet, the book in truth, confirming what came before it, as he revealed the Torah and the Gospel previously as a guide for people, and also revealed the standard to distinguish between right and wrong. Surely, those who reject Allah's revelations will suffer a severe torment, for Allah is almighty, capable of punishment. So, before we had the Quran, Allah gave us the Torah and the Gospel as a guidance for all mankind. These two books, and all of the words contained in them, cannot be changed, as Allah's words are unchangeable. Unless your name happens to be Paul. You see, our Muslim friends love to preach about how the Bible has been completely corrupted, and therefore cannot be trusted. But here's the problem with that statement. According to the Quran, Jesus and all of his disciples were Muslim. Since that's the case, it's impossible to pin the blame on the disciples for corrupting the Bible. So who becomes a scapegoat? That's right, the Apostle Paul. Muslims love to claim that it was the Apostle Paul who corrupted the Bible. But if that's the case, I have to ask, if Allah is almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful, then why wasn't he capable of stopping the Apostle Paul from corrupting the Bible? What made the Apostle Paul, a regular man, so special that not even the great Allah himself could stop him? The Apostle Paul was born and raised as a Jew. Eventually, he became a Pharisee and learned everything he knew regarding the Old Testament through Gamaliel, one of the greatest rabbis of the first century. This knowledge that he acquired transitioned into his writings about Jesus. Paul would frequently use the Old Testament scriptures as reference to prove that Jesus Christ is in fact the Son of God. How does Paul's knowledge of the Old Testament scriptures compare to that of Allah? Well, let's look no further than what Allah has revealed in the Quran. Saba verse 12. And to Solomon we subjected the wind. Its morning stride was a month's journey, and so was its evening stride. The famous Islamic scholar Ibn Kathir commented on this verse. Having mentioned the blessings with which he favored Dawood, that is, David, Allah follows this by mentioning what he gave Dawood's son, Suleiman, or Solomon. He subjected the wind to him so that it could carry his carpet one way for a month, then back again the next month. An-Naml 18 and 19. And when they came across a valley of ants, an ant warned, "O ants, go quickly into your homes, so Solomon and his armies do not crush you unknowingly." Solomon heard this ant talking, smiled in amusement at her words, and began to pray.
What is it? It's beautiful.
Al-Ma'idah 30 and 31. Yet Cain convinced himself to kill his brother, so he killed him, becoming a loser. Then Allah sent a crow digging a grave in the ground for another dead crow in order to show Cain how to bury the corpse of his brother. Al-Anbiya. And indeed, we had granted Abraham sound judgment early on. for we knew him well to be worthy of it. Remember when he questioned his father and his people, "What are these statues to which you are so devoted?" They replied, "We found our forefathers worshiping them." So he smashed them into pieces, except the biggest of them, so they might turn to it for answers. They protested, "Who dared do this to our gods? It must be an evildoer." Some said, "We heard a young man called Abraham speaking ill of them." They asked, "Was it you who did this to our gods, O Abraham?" He replied sarcastically, "No, this one, the biggest of them, did it. So ask them if they can talk." They concluded, "Burn him up to avenge your gods, if you must act." However, we, as in Allah, ordered, "O fire, be cool and safe for Abraham." They had sought to harm him, but we, as in Allah, made them the worst losers. Solomon having a flying carpet. Solomon listening to ants talking to one another. A crow teaching Cain how to bury his brother. Abraham being thrown into a furnace, then rescued from that furnace by Allah. Compared to Paul's knowledge of the Old Testament, Allah's knowledge is laughable, but that's not where the embarrassment ends. In addition to the Torah, Allah also claims to have revealed the Gospel. The Arabic word for gospel that is used in this verse is Injil. In Islam, Al-Injil is known as the book revealed through Jesus. But there's a problem here. The Arabic word Injil is derived from the Greek word euangelion. And in Sahih al-Bukhari, we are told that every prophet before Muhammad, which includes Jesus, used to be sent to his own nation exclusively, except for Muhammad, who was sent to all mankind. Do you see the glaring issue here? According to Allah, Jesus was sent exclusively to his own people, the Jews, whose language was Hebrew and Aramaic. However, the book revealed through Jesus, Al-Injil, is derived from the Greek language. If Jesus was a Muslim, then why did he preach to the Jews? And why did Allah reveal to us the gospel in Greek? Paul, on the other hand, being the scholar that he was, knew Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek. He could read the Hebrew language, speak the Aramaic language that Jesus spoke, and write in the Commonwealth Greek language of his time. Compare that with Allah, who claims that Jesus was able to breathe into clay birds and turn them into real birds. In an ironic twist, the clearest teaching of Allah is the fact that he is a God of utter confusion. Let the people of the gospel, the Christians, judge by what Allah has revealed in it, and those who do not judge by what Allah has revealed are truly the rebellious. We Christians have already judged. We have judged that the false god Allah is completely incoherent in his understanding of the Old Testament. We have judged that the false god Allah is completely incompetent when it comes to the New Testament and the life of Jesus. We have judged the Apostle Paul to be greater than the false god Allah in both knowledge and authority of the Scriptures. Until next time, salam.